back to the day-night show matches. Tonight we have Ottr versus Bertrang, casted by myself and Zero Lambda. So, you doing pretty good, Zero, today?
For the most part, I think.
Enjoy.
I just ate. My stomach is full. That's good.
Oh, nice. What'd you eat?
Meatloaf.
Oh,
I like meatloaf.
nice. Okay, then what about you guys, our players? How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. A little tired.
Fantastic. Now, is everybody? I think everybody who's in the audience right now is aware, but in case anybody's seen this pop up on YouTube at a slightly different time than everything else, basically, we underestimated the power of Mother's Day, and it completely screwed up our schedule on Sunday. So we had an extra, and we're casting it now rather than on Sunday.
Yes.
But that notion aside, as well as the notion of many other fun things that I'd love to talk about relating to Heroes at the moment, because they changed all the things. But I would like to hear from our players. Please tell us your rank, race, and region. And let's see here. Do you have any games that are coming out in the next month that you are interested in learning more about? Start with Bert.
Okay. So right now I am in North America. I'm in Silver League. I just placed in it, but because of the whole, I don't know, nerfing leagues or whatever you want to call it, hopefully I'll get into gold within the next week or two. Sometimes I play in Korea, but of course I'm bronze there and do terribly even against bronze. And games that are coming out, the one that I've always stuck with, and it just came out and I was in the beta, is Kerbal Space Program. Pretty fun. You build basically spaceships. You can explore the moon, all the other planets of the solar system, research to unlock more parts. It's pretty amazing. As well as on Kickstarter, the Universe Sim, which is basically kind of Sim City but with planets. It's a god mode game where you control society and everything.
Oh,
so
that sounds cool.
That's pretty fun. I'm in the beta for that too, so check it out if you could get a chance.
Videos. Like lots of videos.
I will.
So, yeah, I actually have a question for you about that particular game. It seems to be relatively realistic from a simulation standpoint of rockets. Do you need a lot of prior knowledge about how rockets work for that game to be fun, or?
You really don't. Each of the propulsion pieces. I mean, you can calculate all the trajectories and stuff by hand, but there's a lot of mods you can get which can basically calculate everything for you and tell the exact trajectories you need to get, as well as calculate thrust.
Okay.
But I like just throwing stuff together and
seeing how far in the air you get.
Yeah, I try and build as close to the Apollo program as I can.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that does sound pretty cool.
But all the physics are realistic and everything, so
nice.
It's amazing.
All right then. What about for you, Ottr? Once again, that's rank, race, region. Any games you're looking forward to?
I don't think I'm ranked this season yet, but I ranked gold last season on EU. Play Zerg, and what was the question about games in the next month?
In the next month, or if there's nothing there in general.
I don't think it's next month. I think it's actually the month after. Elder Scrolls Online for PlayStation.
Oh.
Instead of PC.
Oh, they're porting it?
I was looking forward to playing a while back with my little brother, and he doesn't have a PC that can run it, and neither do I, so we're just going to wait until it's console and see how good it is, I guess.
Interesting.
No, that's a good idea. I'm actually kind of surprised that they're porting it over, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wasn't under the impression that it was doing well enough to justify that, but yeah, maybe I'm wrong on that. That's good.
Don't know.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it because I thought from a format standpoint, I really liked they seem to be trying to alter things just a little bit from the norm in terms of the combat system. So I'm excited to see that they're still doing stuff with it. But at the very least, that's good to hear. So let's go ahead and move on to the actual match here. This is a best of 3 tonight, using the standard map pool as always. It hasn't changed, I don't think, from the last time you guys played. Still Coda, Echo. Whoa, come back here. Sticky note. Expedition Lost, Vani, Cactus Valley, Inferno, and Iron Fortress. As always, we don't have anything to determine who vetoes first or second for us, so we'll be using rock, paper, scissors for that. Just message me on StarCraft with your decision. I'll tell you who won. That is a very interesting way to do it. I don't think a person could actually could predict you if you do that. That's fascinating. Anyway, Bert, also known as Energy, went scissors, and Ottr went rock. So, to explain what I just said, basically he just put his fingers on S, R, and P and hit them at random. So I think that's actually However, Ottr does win this one. So, Ottr, what would you like to do?
Leaving it up to the dice.
I guess I'll go ahead and the veto first.
Okay.
No Inferno pools.
Done.
My turn.
Mm-hmm.
No Vani research station.
Done. So, Ottr, next one.
Get rid of Expedition Lost.
Oh.
Okay. That's a map I also have vetoed in the map pool, so yay.
Much to Bert's dismay over there.
And I'll do Iron Fortress LE.
Okay. That leaves us with Cactus, Valley, Echo, and Coda. What would you like to play on first, Ottr?
Just go in order. Let's do Coda.
I'm okay with going in order for the rest.
Okay, so Echo and then Cactus Valley. Fantastic. Well, all right, everybody, we are ready to get started. I'm going to pass party leader over to Zero here, and we will go ahead and get this set up. As always, a reminder that we ask the victor to come back to the call immediately if you could. If you do not win, that's fine. You can still come back, but you don't have to. Just watch, or you want to take off, that is fine too.
Sweet. Loading. Already accepted? Yes, there we go. Nice.
Okay.
There we go. Order you up. Races colors.
Alright, guys, we'll go ahead and get you out of the call here.
Yep.
And
Good
we'll
luck, guys.
see you
We'll...
Boom.
All right. So how you doing tonight?
I am doing pretty well. I had a lot of fun playing Heroes earlier, which, by the way, is unusual on a patch day.
Yeah,
Usually
I know.
You expect it to not.
When I got home, I had nightmares of the Zagara patch. It was down for almost 2 days.
I remember that.
I went, no, because I would get home and I remember I'd want to sit down with you guys because I had just gotten in.
Yeah.
Not too much. So I'd only been playing a week or two or so. So we were beyond addicted at that point. It was, we were up till 6 a.m. doing that stuff.
I remember that.
Yep,
yes.
That was good.
Pretty much for anybody who was wondering, the reason why that beta went the way it did primarily was because every time they patched in a bunch of people to Heroes, it would overload stuff like the authentication server on BNet. So they actually had to beef up their infrastructure on that side, in addition to other things, so that they wouldn't sync all of their games simultaneously if they made the game go live.
Yeah, it's they've been breaking their own records with this game, and I expect that trend to continue.
Yeah. I wonder what LLAP means. And anyway, in the top left part of the map, we have our green Zerg player. It is none other than Ottr.
And her opponent spawning in the bottom right of the map, the purple Terran player. From D. Knigget, it is Bert. Energy Draken.
Also, man, that last game we played earlier today. Oh, goodness.
It was
very stressful.
Yeah, it was. We fought hard for that one. I'm glad that we won it. It was.
we had a person on our team that was essentially trying to throw the game because it was not looking good for us over and over again. And we shot the guy down like verbally a bunch of times. He thankfully didn't flip his shit and go crazy. And we hung in there, and we managed to win mostly because they decided to ignore a bunch of minions that blew up their core. They did actually, right before that moment, they had completely wiped us out. Like I don't think we had much right to win that game, but you know what?
I don't think so. I mean, you could tell they had tunnel vision too. We had the boss merc going across the map, and it ran straight for the core, and they didn't notice they were still team fighting us at the end, and yeah, that's how we did it. Tunnel vision, it's a killer.
Yep. There was actually another game earlier in the day that I think that was before you were playing. We had this one guy on our team that started bad-mouthing somebody else, but he was doing it like this, with 2 words at a time.
Oh, no.
So I was like, thank you, Mr. Spock.
So he's talking like Captain Kirk would if he were to...
He didn't respond, and I was like, aw. It's technically not the correct... It was not technically a correct reference. I should have actually just... Because if you think about it, because he's supposed to be Captain Kirk in that situation. But whatever, I'll take what I can get. Anyway, looking at the actual builds we have going on here, typical opening from Bert looks like barracks first with some gas, probably going to be going into Reaper or Factory Tech quickly. And we have pool first into Hatchery for Ottr. And pretty much from here, we have to hang out for a little bit and basically see kind of what the Terran is doing first. Just like it is with PVZ, pretty much the first thing that decides the way a lot of the game is going to go is the tech path that is chosen by the Protoss player. I think it's pretty similar in DVZ.
Yeah, I'd say so.
This is extremely bad, though. I mean, we don't really want to lose this.
Oh, wow. This is going to hurt big time. Down to 18 health. These Marines are going to be
merciful.
Give up.
Unfortunately, Ottr has probably already signed this Overlord off as dead. Well, there we go. This is going to get interesting quickly. But the fact that Overlord was spared could actually doom Bert. If he had killed that, it would put Ottr in a little bit more of a difficult position to defend this.
Yep.
But she's going to know about it in about 1 second. Boom. Vision. There it is. So, as we can see here, basically Bert's trying to get some early damage done here. And he's not really fully committing to this. You see that he has a factory on the back of this. Unfortunately, not enough links really work here. There's no spine up either. So this is at least going to be able to do some damage to this hatchery, if not take it out.
The pain in the butt here, Ottr didn't see this coming. The hatchery is still constructing. That vision cone is really small. So Bert just kind of snuck up here. He's streaming Marines across the map right now. He really wants to make this work. He's building a second bunker up front.
Whoa. Honestly speaking, again, looking at the tech path on the back of this, I thought he might just leave the first bunker there, try to pull out a bunch of lings from Ottr, but no, it looks like he wants to be able to have more on the back of this. And there's 2 queens coming up here in addition to the lings. There's no repair going down on the bunker, so that is going to fall fairly quickly here. He's taking it off of the new constructing bunker, but it's too late. Goes down. Unfortunately, there's only the 2 queens at the front now. We'll see if that's going to be enough to actually hold this off. There's no transfused little anti-micro there. The queen stays alive. Oh my goodness! Actually have a pretty solid hold here. At the very least, this next bunker is a little bit too far away, so it can't hit the hatchery anymore, and I think you can say more or less that Ottr has held this.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much held. The hatchery's going to heal slowly over the course of all this. There's a lot of area coverage from these Zerglings. Going to take down this bunker. Speed is up now, so these Marines are not going to be able to escape very quickly. And things are about to stabilize. Bert's going to continue down the factory path and expand.
Yep, he does have, you know, he did go down that tech route. It's not like he proxied a bunch of barracks. He just sent Marines out of 1 barracks down there. And this does help him a little bit. He's not as far behind as he would normally, but this normally be. But the reality of the matter is, that's a bunch of SCVs that weren't built. That's a bunch of supply depots that didn't happen. That's a command center that wasn't built very quickly. So he is still behind as a result of doing this. It comes down really to Ottr to keep her cool. Don't get supply blocked. Continue to build up. Go back to following your plan. And then scout to make sure he's doing anything insane on the back of it.
And speaking of supply block, she's droning up pretty heavily here while she attacks, and it's a little bit of wasted supply when she's not looking. Hellion out now, though. Quite a bit of damage to Zerglings here if they crowd up on the ramps.
Actually, the Marines themselves would be enough to hold this if she did try to force her way through without Banelings. So it looks like for now, she's just going to try and make it very difficult to actually take this without more Hellions, which there are here now. So I don't think this is going to do much other than let Ottr know, yes, my opponent is in fact expanding, which actually that's pretty important to know, because then you know they're not going for all-in round 2.
And, I mean, she's already ahead of Bert. I mean, she's set up for mid-game here. She's going to deny this expansion. CC's going to float down here, going to find a bunch of lings in the way, and she's building a Baneling nest.
Yeah, okay. This might just be part of her normal tech path. Like, if she does want to go up into the standard Ling Bane Yuta. It looks like she's going to hit these, hit the units here when they're focused on the rocks, gets a couple free kills. It's not going to be enough to really end this, but it is nice as could have gone for Bert. She does need a lot more links, though. She wants to go for an attack sooner rather than later. But I actually don't think that's the plan here. We have a Roach Warren. Well, no, never mind. 26 links. That does. Plan is to harm the opponent and to change the rally points. Rally points need to be changed. Ooh, that's sad.
Ooh, gonna have to be careful with that. Roach Warren going down, Lair going down. All that good stuff, looking to move into the upgrade path. Baneling Nest is complete. A little bit of banked gas. Gonna use that to build some Banelings here, bust the front out. Good chunk of lings. I think 36 came out in that burst there. Centrifugal hooks on the way, as well as glial reconstitution for roaches.
Yeah, both Roach speed and Baneling speed, for those of you that don't speak StarCraft. Basically, this looks a little odd to me, though, because I'm not really sure she has the gas to do both of these quite yet. I mean, she's getting 3 more guys, extractors. Not like I made a mistake there.
That's okay.
Hear anything.
You got it. Extractors. You're good.
Talk to my uncle. I'm going to end up talking to Cousin Guido if you did. So anyway. Just kidding. I am Sicilian.
You're alright, buddy. It's okay.
Not that kind of Sicilian.
Never go up against a Sicilian when grammar is on the line. So,
anyway, it looks like we have the Baneling attack coming up here. They have held up pretty nicely. If they had gone around the side, that would have been a lot more effective.
Ouch. Super painful here. Banelings just destructed themselves on this command center. Barely dented it. Going hard in the paint, as Dirt would say.
Yes. Our friend Fried Dirt. His monotone commentary.
Very fried.
It's surprisingly hilarious. Reminds me of Krendor, by the way. Maybe like
Krendor, nice.
More sarcastic.
Well, it's not even sarcastic. It's just very stoic, very straight,
Sassy.
dry delivery.
So sassy.
The Hellions moving out here across the map, looking to get some harass
done. I don't really think Ottr needed to do that attack. I mean, the initial links were good. Find out about the expansion timing, but I think going the roaches out to that might have been a little bit better because now she's lost a lot of larvae essentially for free. These roaches will hold this off, though.
Oh yeah, easy. Blue Flame is out, but these are armored units. The bonus does not come into play. Of course, it still doesn't feel very good. But yeah, these roaches are going to be able to stop this pretty handily. Like the attack, Bert's going to run up and, I say we should chill for a minute, guys.
Bert's response to this looks like is to go into Marauder, so he's going into bio play, despite the presence of the Hellions. The Hellions might actually be for transforming into Hellbats later. They do actually synergize okay with the bio army. They don't get the upgrades, which is a little bit frustrating, but they are still a nice kind of tank wall that you can utilize.
Yeah, definitely, especially if he moves up into Starport Tech, starts getting medevacs, he can heal those Hellbats as long as they're transformed in Hellbats. They take on the bio attribute, very interestingly.
We should not be scouting. It's okay, though. Unfortunately, Bert's not paying attention. He's going to lose a few Hellions for free. And force him to back off, make the pressure that he's putting on the front a little bit less. Creep spread is a little light from Ottr right now, which I think is not really helping these defensive measures.
Better to link these two bases together, especially if she's attempting to expand to the third location. Expand right into a flamethrower.
No. I mean, it's not the worst problem in the world. It does help. Just like anything else. It's when you're macroing and you're looking to hold off aggressive play, try to kind of go for that more standard style, the little things start to matter.
Oh, yeah.
A lot more than they would have in the past. Which is why I actually am personally more and more a fan of the Artosis approach to learning this game. Which is, don't start with macro. Just start with cheesy, fast stuff, because like it will teach you a lot without punishing you for not
Oh,
being
yeah.
perfect.
Definitely, yeah. Control is very important, and honestly, if you go if you go really cheesy, really quick builds, games are over faster. You're more likely to play more games.
And, you know, plus, I mean, the key really is just to make sure you kind of grow up and move on once you've mastered them. That's the part that a lot of people have problems with because they don't want to lose. You gotta embrace losing at some point.
So, Ottr looking to move into Hydra Tech, got Groove Spines, it's Hydra range, and +1 missile, +1 melee. More roaches.
Army supply slightly in favor of the Zerg, but probably not to the extent that would make this sack work.
Yeah,
That Overlord is just never gonna die. I think that might be the same Overlord that nearly died earlier.
It is totally possible. Don't want to run up into
Siege tanks and Widow Mines surprisingly didn't go off until the roaches were on top of that. That's way too much stuff. Yeah.
Ouch. Tanks, Hellions, Marines. Bashing these roaches in the face, trying to poke back a little bit, but don't want to fight with injured roaches at the front.
No, I actually think it looks like we're going from here up into Roach Hydra, which isn't necessarily bad, but I think Otter's gotten a little bit behind on tech here. Normally, when you start seeing siege tanks into play in this situation, you're going to need the Vipers, you need that blinding cloud, you need those pools to get the siege tanks to be less effective. But unfortunately, against the pure Roach Hydra army, that is, the siege tanks will probably make any kind of attack impossible. Also, this run by is going to hurt.
She can hold this off, kind of ace in the hole here, staying ahead of the Terran by 1 base, but this queen is going to get roasted. Blue flame. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Off creep. Shooing her away. Roaches come up and try and defend this. Let's stave this off.
Bert's going up from here into Thor's. He's now supply blocked, however, as he's going to find out when the adjutant lets him know in a second.
Definitely. Combat shield coming out.
Supply depots coming down. This is the sort of thing that Ottr actually needs to have happen to get a little bit more back into this. It slows you down by about 10 supply on average, 10 to 20 supply whenever you're supply blocked. So if you feel like you should be more ahead than you are, it's the first thing I would actually ask you. Why did you get supply blocked? Because that's probably why.
She's been pretty on top of her macro, actually. She's got about 10 supply height here to work with. She just filled that with a few Hydras. Hydras moving out.
These Hydras will help out a lot if the engagement occurs away from the siege tanks. This is currently doing the Widow Mines are not in position either, and it looks like the fight's going to occur largely away from splash damage. Nope, the siege tanks are on the high ground. Never mind, it's not looking too great. I think both sides are going to lose a lot of forces here, but at the end of the day, it should come out a little bit more from the Terran.
Terran's going to inch ahead. All this anti-armor from the Marauders, plus the siege tank splash is just, it's brutal on all those roaches.
So that's one way to get unsupply block, by the way, is to have your opponent come over and blow up all your crap.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not as recommended if they don't have the courtesy to like lose more of their stuff. Because I mean, if they're just killing your stuff, you're not supply blocked anymore, and that's great. But yeah, this isn't don't get supply blocked too. Sometimes it might feel that way.
Oh, jeez. Tank's still taking pot shots at injured Hydras here. Only 2 now at the front. Not so good. Need some of that DPS. I would like to see some more Banelings, actually. There's still a lot of bio here, mostly comprised of Marines. There are only a few Marauders, but they haven't been up at the front. I think Banelings could really do some damage. And now that Bert is also on 3 bases now, though, his economy is going to outpace the Zerg by far, the mules.
Might be good to break these rocks down. I mean, she's not going to bother doing it, but I was thinking, like, I mean, if he had, more coverage on the map, this...
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for that. She didn't really go for it, though. I mean, while she's macroing at home.
Notice also, too, this sensor tower is just far enough off to the right that it doesn't pick up any of this movement.
Well, it's good for Ottr in this case, but...
Yes.
Rally points on top of these rocks.
Oh, well.
Bert is scanning on the map, checking around for the army. Not going to find it. It's hiding right outside his 3rd base's door.
Oh, this is a really annoying attack angle. They're moving in right on top of the siege tanks without their splash damage power. This army comes considerably less effective. There isn't really a lot of Hydras in the back of this to add DPS, but they are doing, the ones that are there are doing quite a bit of work. And it looks like the backbone of Bert's army is getting crushed here. He does have more reinforcements coming up to the front, and they aren't going to be able to drive this off. But he does take a few losses in the base while this fight occurs. Only 7 workers, probably not quite worth it, but better than nothing.
Pretty heavy losses too for Ottr. Supply currently 136 to 118. She's trying to remax, but you know, that larva count's down to 3, unfortunately. Little hard capped there, unfortunately. +3 melee coming out, +3 carapace.
One thing that's hugely in Otter's favor right now, though, is that the worker count for her is actually 12 ahead of that of her opponent. He does have a really large army, but the thing is, with only 41 workers, he's actually just shy, really, of what he needs to even saturate 2 bases. Okay, he's finally correcting that problem. Good. I was going to say, like,
he's queuing up now, yeah.
Essentially, that army is going to be all he's got. If it dies in some way, he's going to be unable to reproduce it for a while.
Yep.
But, however, the problem's been corrected. Slight upgrade lead, I think, for our Zerg, by the way. No, it's equivalent at the moment, but that'll change shortly.
Bert going for a drop, too. No, he's not. Mistake? I was excited to see a Hellbat drop. That would have been crazy.
Mistake,
unfortunately.
You've been enjoying the Jiraxis, I assume?
Ah, yes. Oh, God, that guy is amazing. I didn't get to play it today because my normal my normal Hearthstone playtime is supported by maintenance, but here we go.
Drop.
More drops. More drops.
You know, I like the idea of a drop in this situation. I'm not sure I like the idea of that much. There's a lot that can go wrong if you send 4 medevacs into your opponent's base. Especially if he sends them straight north. He really should do that.
Exactly. I was just going to say, if he angles them wrong, these Hydras are going to have a heyday with those. That's suddenly hundreds of supply lost. He is max now, though, so, I mean...
Okay, he's going to head for the leftward angle, and these Hellbats are going to follow.
Come on, boss. We can't fly, but we can walk. If only we could morph into something that had wheels and moved much faster. Oh.
We could do that if you gave us the order, sir.
We'll just keep doing what you say, sir. Yep.
Okay. So here's the thing. This could actually do a lot of damage. There isn't any static defenses in the main. The army's way too far out of position to get there in time. I'm expecting if this drop goes down, we'll probably see this morphing hive die.
Ottr smells something, though. She's moving the army. Wrong direction, unfortunately.
I think she caught these off to the right. She's going to get them, but that means this quad squad of medevacs. Oh, maybe she missed it.
Oh, these are heading for the natural now. 4 medevacs waiting to switch around, switchblade the main
This is probably going to cause a base race. Her army's too far out of position. She really should just attack with everything while this drop is going on.
Oh man, it's so heavily fortified though. These Hellbats are just going to shred and burn these lings. Drop's going in now. Pretty heavy.
She wants to defend, and unfortunately the result of that is going to be that now she's the one with the smaller worker counts. And this is a pretty scary situation. Anytime this happens to you on the ladder, really your only real way of winning is to kill off whatever they sent without taking too much in the way of losses and then counterattack. If pretty much the economy essentially for Ottr has been more or less gutted. She can recreate a lot of it pretty quickly, but this is not a fun position to be in, especially if she loses that hatchery. She did.
Now, hatchery went down to the 3rd, that little extra source of income, and unfortunately these larvae too are going to fall prey to these the bio army. 4th base is trying to get off the ground, but it's just, oh man, she's shaking now. Yep,
and unfortunately since she doesn't really have any stockpiled minerals either, so rebuilding the drone count is quite difficult. Again though, you know, she has annihilated a large chunk of Bert's army. So the army supplies are essentially equal. If she can force a fight right now and win it, that would I think that would probably be her biggest chance taking this game.
If she went straight for this 4th base, building at the front, which she isn't going to see unless this chunk of the army gets here.
She doesn't know about it any more than he knows about this army running into his base.
Oh man, yeah, she's just going to miss this as everything streams by.
Oh boy. Uh-oh. The thing is, there's so much powerful tech in this army. This is going to be very, very, very violent. And unfortunately, probably most of the way in the Terran, there's actually no splash damage here, so this is okay, but those Thors are really tanking damage well for all the Marauders in the back of this. The Roaches are gone. That's game.
Well done there by Bird. I think the Thors changed the game there, especially with the heavy Roach composition.
Yeah.
It only takes about 2 shots for those Roaches to drop. Even with the armor upgrades, just that bonus is huge, huge, huge.
Definitely.
We're going to check and see if the players need a break real fast here and make sure that everything's in order. We'll move on to game 2 on Echo. Alright, going to a quick break, and we'll be right back into... It's going to take a breather.
So here's a question for you.
Hmm?
When you found out that the Crusader was also going to be going in, who were you more excited about, Crusader or Kael'thas?
Kael'thas, you know, I love the Warcraft universe, but unfortunately, my Warcraft knowledge stops near the middle of 2.
Oh.
I never finished 2. I never got to finish 2, the Dark Portal. All the way up to the end, so that is on my list now, actually. Probably near the top of it. I really want to get into this because Blizzard's just going to keep releasing these heroes. I have no idea who they are, so I was obviously more excited for the Crusader. I love the Crusader in Diablo.
Nice.
So I
yeah,
think,
if you're anybody's wondering out there, the Kael'thas is pretty good right now.
Oh,
I don't know.
I
I can't call him necessarily broken yet. I mean, no one can because he's new. Nobody knows how to react to him. But like, still, you can chain some pretty ridiculous amounts of damage, especially if the opponent is standing on the creeps, because you can turn them all into explosives.
Oh yeah.
However, not all of his talents seem to work the way they're advertised, which makes me wonder if he's got some bugs.
I think so because I was Diablo and I had over 7k health and he landed his suite of skills and I just evaporated.
Yeah, that
magically.
Seems like it's a little weird. But you know, another thing too, though, is just like he's got one ability, for example, Living Bomb. When you throw it on a target, the target takes damage for a little bit and then explodes. And then you can chain it with another ability that causes that to explosion to cause more living bombs to other things it hits.
It's just...
But on top of that, you can also attach it to Flame Strike. The thing is, though, Flame Strike doesn't seem to always apply it, even though it says it always applies it. So, from his perspective, while using it, I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Oh, man, it's just... Oh, it hurts. And we don't really know how it works yet.
He definitely can do unbelievable amounts of damage. And that also does make me wonder, though, like, is that intended? Probably not, given how much damage he can take. He's not more squishy than Jaina, so...
Yeah, he needs to be...
Something seems odd.
As squishy or more so. He does more burst than Jaina. Like, Jaina late game is scary, but early game, she is nowhere near the output he does. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He is supposed to be pretty bursty, though. Just the nature of a fire mage. They should be a little more bursty than an ice mage. But still, yeah, like, from a hero's design perspective, it does seem bizarre that he can, like, destroy a tank.
I mean, I think Jaina is as squishy as it gets right now in Heroes. She's got a very low health, but she puts out so much damage. And I think that anything lower than Jaina, as far as health is concerned, is not going to feel very fun.
No, I mean, murky.
Oh, well, you know, he's an exception. All right.
In the bottom right part of the map here, we have our green Zerg player, currently behind one game. It is Ottr.
And her opponent's spawning up in the top right, or top left of Echo Ladder Edition. The purple Terran player is Bert.
Bert letting us know that he really hates the way, I guess he just hates the fact that reactors appear on the right side of buildings. That's basically what this comes down to.
Interesting.
Well, if you think about it, this makes sense. If you're on the bottom side of the map and all your reactors and tech labs are on the right side of your buildings, all your units that you produce walk straight to the ramp, and there's nothing in the way. If you're on the other side of the map, they have to walk around the building. So you do have to actually build them slightly differently if you want to have the same production speed.
Yeah, I suppose it. Yeah, they're the minions, or not the minions. Heroes. We're talking heroes. The Marines. They start with them. Yeah, just the surface coverage on the base barracks that can be important, especially if you construct your base in such a way that all of the barracks are stacked on top of each other. That gets kind of hairy when the Zerg is in your base, and the Marines are spawning where you don't want them to, especially right in front of the army, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could say that either side could have its pluses and minuses. Oh, we have pool into gas for hatchery here from Ottr.
Looking to be a little aggressive here early on, I think.
And I would actually be a pretty huge fan of the notion of a baneling attack in this situation. I mean, why not go for it? And it looks like Bert's going to fast expand. Is he going command center first? Yeah, he is. He's saving up the money for it.
Wow, he's going CC first. This could be huge if Ottr decides to capitalize on this with the early aggression.
You know, and I don't think it even takes a lot. Like, actually does not take that many lings to punish this.
No.
I mean, we'll see if that's what she has in mind.
Terran buildings cannot lift. They're still under construction. Omega. So, that could be a problem.
They're not that good.
Oh man, can you imagine?
That always throws me off, actually, by the way, going back to Brood Wars. I'm pretty sure the engineering base could lift off in that game.
Yes, they could, actually.
They can't in this one. That always confuses me. Like, I click on them and try to lift them, and I'm like, oh, why?
Yep,
oh.
And see, every other Terran building except the armory. I mean, the armory I can understand.
Oh, that's suspicious. I mean, if you're the Zerg player right now, you haven't seen anything yet, and he's got 2 SCVs in front of his base attacking your scout. This makes you go, what are you hiding?
Straight for ling speed.
Straight for ling speed, no hatchery. This is looking like some pretty serial aggression coming up here.
She's pretty confident about this. Yep, she's gonna morph.
Yeah, okay. So just the okay. She needs to back off. Get this guy to back off, and preferably not lose.
Down to 4.
Drown. Well, we were hoping for some aggression, but I don't think that's actually going to happen here. I think this might have just been a very defensive expansion setup.
See, he spots it now. He sees how aggressive, well, the building looks, anyway. The spawning pool and the gas.
Yeah, he knows it's researching something, if he was watching that. I mean, it might have just been rallied up there and down. But we'll have to see. 2 more barracks going down. The thing is, it's not going to take long here for Bert to end up really, really far ahead.
She's going to have to make a decision one way or the other now. She's got quite the mineral bank here going on, unfortunately, too, so maybe she's looking to pour that into speedlings? She's got 2 queens. Things are up. 4 overlords. She's supply blocked. It's huge right now.
She let the Evo chamber finish. But yeah.
She's going to expand instead.
I think we're just looking at some... a little bit of a mechanical error there, because I think in this situation, if you tried to go for that aggressive attack, once you hit that supply block like that, odds of it actually happening are very, very low. Yep. So it is better to go into an expansion from here, but the reality is, unless she expands again very quickly, she's going to be pretty hopelessly behind for a while. I mean, not for a while, but just very quickly if things are allowed to continue for much longer. There's only 2 Marines at the front, though, so these 4 links could cause some issues.
Yep, I was actually just going to say, Bert's macro's slipping just a little bit. He's only got 2 army units out here. He's got 2 barracks. One of them is idle.
Oh, no! They're in the base!
Lings slip past the wall, the non-wall, and are currently assaulting the SCVs. Boys are pulled to kind of deal with this.
2 SCVs down already, and after she just kills a few more, yeah, she's gonna get 4 if it was controlled a little better, but she gets 3, so it's okay.
These lings, though, they're just gonna come up and just punch this wall down.
There's nothing to shoot them. Oh, there's no way this survives. Like, well, no, there's a couple units here, and if he does the whole mass repair thing, he'll be fine.
Wow, close call.
He got that wall up,
Close call there. That almost looked like it was over there for a second, Omega.
But the thing is, though, now she's got... Bert's up 32 workers to 18. This is never a place you want to be as a Zerg. Frankly, this is never a place you want to be with any race. As you're facing Zerg at certain times of the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, she's slamming that drone button right now. She's trying to catch up in supply. It's 34 workers to 26 right now, and Bert has an expansion. Oh, this is... I mean, I would be pretty scared, especially looking at these barracks. These barracks are constructing a Marauder and 3 Marines at a time. Going to get out of hand pretty quickly as far as Terran Army is concerned. Both 2 engineering bays going down.
She can definitely afford to actually get another hatchery, though. Like, that's not outside of the realm of possibility with the amount of money that she has at the moment. She's going for drones, though, and she has caught up in that respect.
Yep, only 3 behind the Terran player now. Up in the lair.
Where she is behind, though, is in production. If you only have... Like, the reason why there's that, like, be more than 1 base ahead rule is because in actuality, you can't produce all that you can take in resource-wise off of 2 hatcheries. So technically, she'd be equal. There's the 3rd.
There we go. She's on the ball.
things are kind of evening out. Maybe a little less in the tech department, but most certainly in the economy at the very least.
She's going for Infestation Pit too, so... a couple potential things. She's very comfortable with Roach Hydra, though. Anytime I've ever seen Ottr play, I've never really seen anything deviating away from Roach Hydra. She's very, very comfortable with that. It usually works out in her favor. I think she could probably benefit this game, though, from a Muta switch. There are a lot of Marauders in this army, kind of a low amount of Marines. If she were to swoop in right now and surprise them with that little bit of extra gas she's got, that could be a deal breaker.
Oh, maybe. I'm kind of thinking in my head right now, like, what would I be going for? I know, like, in the previous game, my opponent went for a lot of Hellbats, but still basically a bio army. Like, do you approach that guy going for the more more Scarlet-esque style of, like, Ling Bang Muta? Or is it good to go for the Roach Hydra thing, but just try to get out Vipers a little bit quicker?
I'm personally partial to Ling Bang Muta. I love watching it. That's what got me into StarCraft, that build, actually. First StarCraft match I ever watched was Don Regu, and he was on, I think it was the earlier iterations of WCS. Ling Bang Muta, he was all over the map, almost 500 APM. Creep spread everywhere. Every base taken on his half. And I was just blown away. I think that's a very solid way to play. It's also very difficult to coordinate.
So Ottr has essentially hit almost 3 base saturation here. It's up to 58 workers. Still has only Lings, so she's very light on the armory side. But she can change that very quickly here. And I'm interested to see where she wants to take this. We have the ground upgrades, though, this time, so I don't think it's going to be Roaches.
Yep, ground upgrades. Actually, she's ahead of the Terran player, too, right now. She's working on +2 right now. And Terran just finished +1.
This is actually pretty normal, and I'll tell you right now that my Protoss reflexes kicked in a really weird way when I was staring at Otter's base. Because I didn't see any Overlords, and then I saw an Overlord shadow coming in, and literally something in my brain just said, get the sentries, kill the Overlord. I'm like,
where are the sentries?
I'm like, what? No, this is not even a Protoss' base. Where is this coming from?
So, unfortunately for Ottr, there is a sensor tower out here. He can see right now, currently, exactly how many units are sitting right under this. And given the volume and the concentration, he probably knows their links. Like, he's able to gauge the size of this red blob here and continue to construct army units without her knowing.
You can see that both,
huge.
Both players, by the way, I would say probably suffering from very similar tiny little macro errors. Like you can look at one of the things you always check for with Zergs is you look at their injects. And we see, okay, the main queen is not so bad, but the one down here has a little bit extra energy. This one has a little bit of extra energy. And then at the same time, you look in the bird space and you notice there's some very funny looking supply depots over there. That doesn't happen on purpose.
No, it definitely doesn't.
That happens when you're like, need more supply.
Yep. So Otter's doing something really cool right now. She's going for Ultras. Now, if these were Legacy of the Void Ultras, I would say it's over. They are so scary in Void. Oh my god. 8 armor? 8 armor!
But both of them would have a 4th and a 5th, and maybe even a 6th right now if this was Legacy of the Void.
Yeah,
this is... It would be like, you'd be mined out everywhere.
This is true. And looks like Ottr figured out too. She's sitting outside of the radius of the sensor tower, not giving away her plans here. But these Ultras, they're going to be a pain.
I like the Ultras. I like the chitinous plating. She's going to need a little more time to get those upgrades done. I think she's going to want to get a Baneling Nest as well, though. The Ultras themselves are pretty good. They're going to help once the Terran moves out. I would not attack into a fortified position, though, against a Terran like this, and actually would grab a 4. I would have totally grab a 4th and a 5th right now because he's locked himself in on 2 bases. He's going to come out with one big attack.
Yep.
You want to make sure you have the resources backing you up so that you can resupply after this inevitable clash.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's totally a good point. He's turtling on 2 bases right now, and I mean, if you look at the minerals, the natural's mining out. The main is almost gone already. But he's going to have to make a decision here real quick, and when he does, Borask is going to be waiting.
By the way, Collector's Edition Ultralisks look amazing.
Oh, they look sick, especially with the green colors.
Sadly, they don't have their campaign properties of resurrecting themselves, but that's probably A, fair, and B...
Moving this army, he's going to sit right into the sensor tower now, again.
Yeah, this is kind of moving around inside its range, and I think they're going into these siege tanks. This is not going to work. These things are mostly going to die. She could break through the wall, but I think she would take some pretty serious losses to pull that off. And already gone down about 40 supply. And that one Marine's like, get out!
Yep.
That's right, stay
So,
out.
her response is Banelings, and I like this. There are a lot of disposable lings, 20 more on the way. A little bit of gas. Throw some Banelings in there. The problem is going to be siege. She's got an infestation pit. She could totally go for Vipers right now, but I don't think I've ever seen her go Vipers.
There's no static defenses right now, and Bert's has a couple Banshees in the corner.
Uh-oh.
This is one way to cause some chaos. But to be honest, I think the fact that she's had such a good economy, the damage from that has already been done, effectively.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she's still up a base on him, and she could do for an expansion. I mean, she's got plenty of minerals.
I think what the problem is with the Banelings attacking into a defended location like that, the siege tanks can rip them apart if they get the right shots. But yeah, we need that fourth, we need that fifth, we need to bulk up a bit.
Yeah,
in the Zerg space, but like just contain him. Like he'll run out of money and have to leave eventually.
Exactly. He does have cloak though. Banshees are moving in on Ottr's base. She has no anti-air whatsoever. It's all melee ground. So if he finds this third base, it's going to be a problem.
This will, however, encourage an attack, and the one thing that's going to suffer somewhere for the Terran is going to be the Banshee Controller. Well, anyway, Ultralisk running to the front. Baneling's actually running in now. Everything is all packed together. Banelings do not die into a serious amount of damage. The Ultralisk has survived. There are some links still left alive, and the sad reality is for our Terran, there's not a lot. It's not going to be easy to remake that army. Unfortunately, the Ultralisks are not killing the siege tanks. There you go. There's nothing here. Now, unfortunately, there are Banshees running around back in Ottr's base that are causing a huge amount of damage, but the reality is, same damage is already being incurred back at base. He's got a couple Banshees here to take care of this, but they don't do a lot of damage. It's Ultras. They're going to be here for a while, and they're going to kill the +3 attack upgrade. More Lings flooding in now, and it looks like this natural, at the very least, is forfeit. They cannot stop the Lings from just ripping everything to shreds.
Oh man, Tech is going down, like building by building here, really fast. Supply depots getting shredded.
Well, the wall's down.
And the wall's down, unfortunately.
Not going to help. But back over in Ottr's base, 4 Spore Crawlers have already gone down. She's getting adequate defenses to hold this off. They're not quite there yet. She's going to lose some tech. But she need more than Lynx at this point.
Man, Bert's going to have a hard time coming back from this. He's going to be able to clean this up eventually with these Banshees, but there's going to be so much damage. Lings and Ultras are streaming across the map right now as reinforcements, and it's slowly just going to snowball out of control. Things are going to catch fire.
That's right. I mean, like, losing all these units, you might feel to yourself, man, that's not really to put it in programmer speak, I guess, an elegant solution. I mean, you're still just having much shit to play your stuff down.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't have to be elegant. If you throw enough grenades in the general area of something.
Yeah, eventually it will be gone. I was going to say explode, but it's stupid that. Bert's lost so many supply depots now that he cannot reproduce his army. Unfortunately, none of these Spore Crawlers are in position to protect the hide, so it looks like that's going to be going down.
Oh man, Bert at this point just massing Banshees. He's got a little bit of minerals and gas left. He's so many Banshees. 10 on the map right now. 2 more on the way.
The thing, though, is that unfortunately for Bert, his opponent is still essentially mining, and he is not. He does have workers.
Oh no! Ottr taps out.
That, folks, is what we call defeating yourself psychologically.
When you feel like you're behind, you're behind.
Always check first. Bert literally had no economy.
Yep. Oh man. No.
He could not have killed the Spore.
What of the underdog, man? Oh,
it's too bad, man. It happens sometimes. What can you say?
Gee. So close. That was so much closer than I think that she thought it looked.
Yes, for sure. And she'll look at that replay later and figure that out. Everybody has those games. It's no big deal.
And crazy.
Welcome back, Bert. Congratulations on your victory.
Whew, I am shaking right now. I thought I lost that second one for sure.
It was looking really close there. That is certainly true.
I kept on expecting her to go mutas, so
Yeah, and that didn't happen. Instead, we got the crazy Ultralisk attack. And, I actually can see, that makes a lot of sense. I know that Otter's been playing a lot of Legacy of the Void, and that would have been, like, I think the initial attack would have been essentially unstoppable in Legacy of the Void.
Yeah.
If you can believe it. It would also have happened 5 minutes earlier. Yay, economy changes. But in any case, that is neither here nor there. I would like to ask you about the games from this match first. Let's talk a little bit about Coda. There's a lot of Hellions this game. Tell me about your thoughts from your perspective.
So I was trying to I've been practicing this week trying to use a Hellion Harass, but once I saw how many roaches she had, I knew I had to amp up the Marauder production. I've just seen a lot of really great harassment Hellions early game. I think I waited a little bit too long with that though, and I tried to shut down her initial expansion with the bunker, but she defended it well.
Yeah, honestly, I thought things were looking a little bad for you at that point. I mean, it's never fun to invest into an attack like that and just not get the hatchery.
Yeah, I did get her to make a lot of Zerglings though, so that was nice.
Yeah, it wasn't a wash. Wasn't a total wash for sure.
Yeah. Probably an even trade overall.
Indeed. And after that, it pretty much just hanging back and building up. It looked like the siege tanks did a lot of good for you in that match.
Yeah, I kept on expecting her to go mutas, so of course I built Thors, and thank God they held, but I only had, 3 siege tanks at one point, and I realized I had to pump out a few more.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where if enough time had gone by, or maybe things had gone a little bit differently, like if there were Vipers with Blinding Cloud in there, that could look a little bit differently. But nevertheless, Thors are good against roaches, so it seemed to have worked out just fine.
Yeah, they absorbed the damage.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, too, the bonus versus armor, you just kind of... Once you get to 5 or 6, it's kind of critical mass, and the roaches just stream in and fall against a brick wall.
Indeed. Well, that aside, I mean, it was pretty much a straightforward game from there. However, game 2 went a little bit differently. Yeah, talk about game 2. Talk about Echo.
So, I was going to 2-base all in, except she started camping outside my base, so I knew I had to get a couple siege tanks and try and at least, I can't even think, try and hit some of her army from my vantage point. Hopefully trying to draw them in. I did bring out 1 Marine because I was also going to try and draw them in with that, but by then they had ran away. But so I wasn't I knew I had to defend, and since I knew I really couldn't expand safely, I decided to go Banshees so I could do some harassment, which in the end is pretty much the only reason why that game ended. I trolled a little bit by lifting up my CC as well.
And you were building 2 more. I was like, oh boy, is he going to run around?
Oh yeah.
But
I was just going to harass as much as I could.
No, yeah, once I saw the 4 Spore Crawlers down, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, all she really needs to do is just put those down in the natural, and then you've got an army that can't kill her base. But yeah. Unfortunately, here's the thing, like, anybody can get psyched out like that. You can think you're more behind than you actually are, which is why obviously never give up, never surrender, because I mean, nobody likes that guy. But it is good to at least scout your opponent's base once, just to be certain, just to be sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But in any case, yeah, that was a really nice game, actually. I really liked just the action, the pacing of that one, especially toward the end. And I look forward to seeing you guys play again at some point. Reminder to everybody, this is the end of matches for what was supposed to be the end of the previous weekend, or a couple days ago. And our next round of matches will be at the end of the month on the weekend of the 29th.
I'm gonna abandon you guys for abandon you guys for a week. Yep. Yeah, out of not only out of town, out of state actually.
Yes.
So.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. I'm gonna sleep and eat.
I'm going to basically work on some other stuff that I've had around projects and getting a job, hopefully.
Yeah.
Achieve that one. Ugh. But, in any case, this will be the last time we see you guys for a little bit. Thank you for hanging out tonight, everybody who was doing so. That includes, of course, I can see Mr. Death Row there. Bert Covert. Useless Sniper. I'm wondering if I know you by a different ID, potentially. ZRQ, and I saw Loopy Loo in there as well earlier. Thank you, everybody. We will see you next time.